My name is Michael DeStasio, the founder of Valor Advisors. Today we're going to talk about the 3 financial steps police officers, firefighters, and paramedics need to take before you retire. Before I begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like the video to help us reach more first responders. What I hear from first responders before retirement usually goes something like this. I want to make sure my family and I will be okay before retiring. What that really means is, what do I need to take care of financially before I retire? So let's look at some of the common concerns first responders have before they retire. First is, did I save enough money? And do I even need to contribute more money right now? Second is, what if my pension gets reduced? This is, of course, very important. Depending on where you live, it could be a real possibility. Do I have the right investments? This can include things like my stock and bond portfolios. Do I need to adjust the percentages, emerging markets, international, you name it? Next is, will inflation ruin my retirement? In today's world, that's more important than ever, and that's something that we stress test every portfolio so you can see the impact inflation will have on your retirement. What about out-of-pocket medical costs? We all know that's important, and for most people, those costs rise significantly as they age. Valor Advisors can provide answers to each of these questions. Step 1. Review your income sources. You want to start taking a look at your pension, which for most first responders is their biggest income source as they enter retirement. So what you need to do is reach out to your pension fund and get an estimate for your monthly income. Next is your retirement accounts. This includes everything that you have at your workplace, your IRAs, and even what your spouse has set aside. Annuities. If you've purchased an insurance contract annuity, you need to get this information and figure out when the payments start, how often they increase, and more. Next is rental real estate. If you've purchased a few properties throughout your life, you need to know what your income will be after all the expenses and taxes are paid for. Last is Social Security. Now, most first responders do not actually pay into Social Security because they are covered by their workplace pension. However, you might have worked a few side jobs where you earned enough credits, and your spouse may also be entitled to receive Social Security. So it's important to reach out to the Social Security Administration and get an estimate of what your monthly benefit will be as well. Here's a sample monthly income tracker. All you need to do is work on writing down the source, the monthly amount, and the taxes on each income source. You can get a monthly total and have a pretty good idea of what this will look like for you. As a bonus tip, it's important to account for the various taxes your income may or may not be subject to. This depends on the income type, the federal and state laws. You also need to know if some states tax retirement income, such as your pensions or 457B withdrawals, while others do not. Here is an income source graph that we put together for all our clients. What it does is it will show you by age the amounts and types of all the various income sources you may have. This is very powerful information, and you can plan year by year what you need to do, where your income is coming from, any type of tax planning, you name it. As we see, you can map out pension, annuity, rental real estate income, when you're going to actually start taking money from your savings. All that information is there, so you can be rest assured that everything will be good. Step 2 is to review your expenses. First, you want to take note of what are your essential expenses. This can include things like housing, which for most people is one of their biggest expenses. Next is medical costs. Granted, this can be hard to predict, but having a good idea of what this might look like will be helpful. Next are your discretionary expenses. This can be for things like going out and having fun, shows, restaurants with friends, you name it. We all want you to have a really good and fun retirement. Maybe you want to travel when you retire. Knock off all those big bucket list item trips that you never thought were possible. By all means, you should explore the world. Maybe you're into vintage cars. I mean, they are fun, and you want to buy a couple of those? See what that might look like for you and what the cost will be. So what you want to do is just simply map out by the expense type, the monthly cost, and if you want, you can even put the type of expense that it will be, essential or discretionary, so you can see what is fixed within your budget and what has more flexibility. As a reminder, taxes will be one of your biggest expenses, so don't be afraid to calculate that at this federal and state level. Step 3 is to review your investment portfolio. First, you're going to want to add up all your investment accounts in your household. This includes all your workplace plans, your IRAs, and the money that your spouse, if you have one, is setting aside too. Next, you need to know how much income your portfolio will generate. This will even include things like the interest and dividends and the amounts that you decide to take out. You also need to understand if you're protected from market downturns. How will your portfolio perform in those situations and how that impacts how much you withdraw from there is very important. Next is you need to set up rebalancing. Rebalancing makes sure that you keep your stock and bond portfolio allocations in line. What this does is it helps create predictability within your portfolio. You can choose to set this up as either monthly, quarterly, annually, whatever you need to help you achieve your goals. Next is reviewing your asset allocation. You need to determine if the percentage of stocks and bonds and other assets in your portfolio is going to help you meet your goals. This can vary significantly for everybody. So let's take a look at what a sample target allocation and a current allocation will look like. So here on the one side, we have somebody's current asset allocation. First, it's broken down by the equity and the fixed income percentages, which we see are 67% and 33%. Next, it gets broken down by the actual asset class. U.S. equities, international, emerging markets, real estate, U.S. and international bonds, and cash. Then you need to determine how your portfolio needs to be invested as your target. For some people, this will vary. In this example, we have it set to a conservative allocation. And we can see on the high level, equities are 35% of the portfolio and fixed income is 65%. And then it gets broken down further into the various percentages based on asset class. As a summary, as you prepare for retirement, take time to review your income sources, your expenses, and your investment portfolio. If you want help organizing this information for your retirement, then reach out to us at valoradvisors.com, or you can even email me directly, michael@valoradvisors.com. I hope you found this information helpful and informative, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like the video to help us reach more first responders. Thanks.